Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about what happened when I went in for my CT scan. So I was a bit nervous. I think when I did my first video on nasal and sinus cancer, that was when I'd been sent for the CT scan, wasn't it? It's been that long, guys. It's kind of like, I can't even remember there's been that much going on. And I'm going to do this one first, then I'm going to tell you about the appointment. The second appointment I had with the ENT, because there's a lot to discuss in that as well. So like I said, I was a bit nervous. All they did though, so I had the scan, that went absolutely fine. I was a little bit scared, like I said. There's no need to be scared, it's just a CT scan, and they didn't put me in all the way because they only had to basically look at my head and see what's going on there, because obviously the pains here in the sinuses, like when I touch here sometimes it really hurts. On this part my face is swollen, and then obviously there's the nasal polyp, but I think I've got one more very small nasal polyp just like coming underneath there, so I need to tell the ENT about that as well, and then they can look. So went for the scan and I thought I'll get the results back really quickly. It's an emergency appointment. So these results, I thought, well, I'll get them back within a week or two max. The results, guys, took 6 weeks, and I think I only got the results back in 6 weeks because I was hounding them. I was so worried. I mean, any mention of cancer, like I said, I'd never even heard of nasal cancer before. I didn't even think you could get a nasal polyp. I knew of polyps, but I didn't know that you could get like a nasal polyp. But I guess like with it being in skin, you can get polyps anywhere in the body. So after about 3 or 4 weeks, I was getting really impatient. I'd even gone to speak to my GP. That's when he said, look, we think you've got bacterial sinusitis. That's when it kind of was like becoming, it's a little bit more serious than we first thought. Not only do we think that you could potentially have like cancer, nasal cancer, sinus cancer, they bracket it as kind of one, but you've got bacterial sinusitis and that's why you're not getting any better. Anyway, I've discussed this. They gave me antibiotics and I got better so quickly. So that was that. And then, like I said, I wasn't getting any results from the radiographer. How it works, when you go for a CT scan, the people that actually, put you in the CT scanner, they don't have anything to do with results. A radiographer has to run his report. He has to look at the CT scans and then he'll have to send it to the specialist. So in my case, it was the ENT, and it just wasn't getting there. Every single time I called, I mean, we must be talking like 4 or 5 times I called them, and I said, where is the report at now? Because they kept saying it's a partial report. And I said, well, what does that mean? And they said, well, the radiographer's looked at it, but has not written his report up yet. And I said, well, okay, how long is that going to take? And she said, well, even in emergency cases, they're taking the time. I don't know what your case is. And I said, well, I was classed as a 2-week emergency. And she said, oh, right. She said, it should have been done by now. Give me another week and I'll look into it. So anyway, the next week, I actually gave them 2 weeks longer. So in total, I think I was waiting 6 weeks to hear back from them. So I gave him a couple of weeks longer, and I just said, look, I've still not heard anything. Can you tell me what's going on? Then she basically spoke to the radiographer and he said that I'm kind of next on the list to be seen. And then he sent the report to the ENT, and then not long after that, about a week later, they booked me an appointment for 2 weeks later. So that's where we're at with that. That's where we were at with that. They didn't tell me anything, obviously, over the telephone. the only thing I got was letters. So I got a letter saying, it was from Macmillan Cancer, a specialist there. I think I told you about that in one of the last videos. And they basically said they've checked for head and neck cancers. They can't, well, basically, there's no cancer in the head or the neck. So I was feeling relieved. And they said, but the polyp needs a biopsy, so we can't rule that out there, basically. That's what the ENTs told me, and I'm going to tell you more about that in the next video. I just wanted to let you know the process of what happens. Like, when you get a 2-week referral, it doesn't mean that you're going to get the results super quick, guys. I mean, I feel bad for the NHS, I feel bad for the state that it's in, but like for patients that think that they've got cancer, or, you know, have been referred as a 2-week rule, all they're going to do is worry until they get told that there is no cancer there. So yeah, it's not the greatest position to be in, and it's still ongoing. But yeah, I'm going to give you more information. I might actually do another one next. I'll put this one up first, obviously, because I want to let you know in order of what happened. But as I was saying, you know, just because you get referred as a 2-week rule, it doesn't mean things are going to work out and you just going to know like that. Yeah, so that's everything for me to tell you about the CT scan and the radiographer and the report. Next is what happened when I went to the ENT. So it's classed as the second appointment. And it was basically to tell me an update on results and things like that. And I thought I was going in for one thing and something else cropped up, and I was really taken aback. I will tell you probably in the next few days. I'll do another TikTok. And then yesterday I had a telephone consultation with that same ENT. It wasn't my original ENT, who's the surgeon, who's going to be operating on me. It was someone who works with him, and gosh, it was a nightmare. But yeah, stay tuned for that if you want to see see what happened there. And I'll speak to you guys again soon.